had to actually turn the phone off
Yeah.
for it to work, which is a bit weird.
Well, I hope they'll come back. I want to know the answer now. You were too quick cutting it off because I couldn't type in there like usual. Wouldn't let me type.
No, because I killed it.
But usually you
Well,
kill
you killed it straight away. I don't know why, but it did. But we're back. We need to know the answer to Buttercup's question. What sport was banned in New York?
And she wouldn't have ever classed it as sport.
Maybe she should classify what it is.
Yes.
Instantly have a
It was weird. Usually I can still type in the room when he has to start a new stream, but it
killed
just
it
wouldn't
straight
let me.
away.
Yeah, so
I don't know what it is. It gets to about 55 minutes and then my chat stops. Just give them a couple more minutes for people
maybe
to come back in.
Adam and Trish will come back in, yeah. But I'm still thinking we could still have a bit of a guess. What did I say?
When you said it's not a sport, what is it more akin to, Buttercup? You said it may not be considered a sport.
She didn't realise it was considered a sport. That's
So
what
if
she
it
said.
wasn't considered a sport, what could it be considered similar to something else?
Well, synchronised swimming is now considered a sport where it never used to be.
Well, darts is one of those things that was about 20 years ago they said it was a sport, but it was just recreation. Yeah, you can give us the answer. That's cool.
Hey, Blinky's
Okay,
back.
yes.
Water
A
ballet.
pastime that mostly involves alcohol. Well, I'd say darts again.
It's a pastime that mostly involves alcohol. Hey,
Water
g'day,
ballet.
Blinky. Welcome back.
Water ballet.
Well, water ballet doesn't involve alcohol. Neither does synchronised swimming.
Yeah, but darts does. You've got to be taking piss to play darts.
Ah.
Buttercup spends all week coming up with these obtuse questions.
It's good.
It always gets me.
It makes us think.
It does. At least that's my understanding. It's done by inebriated folks. Again, I'd say darts.
Well, it's,
Even though you're saying it's not.
yeah.
Buttercup knows what I'm talking about. Everyone goes to the pub in the UK, gets a piece and plays darts. The score's not that important.
Holding the bar up. That's a good one, Blinky.
Well, I know there was a controversy in New York about cage fighting, that some sporting body said it's not a sport, but didn't want to let them in. It happened in Australia. It was only recently in
Welcome
Australia
back, boy.
they've allowed cage fighting.
So, Bully, have you tried to answer Buttercup's question? Buttercup spends a lot of time trying to find these questions for us. Oh, he always wants money, so what else is new?
Trying to get a bald spot, but I just can't do it. Got all this hair. It's the Viking in me.
Alright, Buttercup, I cannot think. Seemingly it started in Australia. Well, I'm trying to think. Blinky, what can you think of?
Boomerang throwing. It's not really a sport, it's an art.
What did you say? It affected the civil rights.
When will Seeds be back?
Yes.
Back.
Can't you hear him?
Hello?
You're not on mute,
Is
are
my
you?
volume muted again? No, it says it's on. Cottage seeds. When will seeds be? Oh, you mean as in products?
Oh.
Probably in about 6 months.
Yes, What sport was banned in New York as it violated civil rights?
That has racial undertones.
Disc throwing. Hey, Danny.
Hello, Danny.
It's associated with alcohol, apparently, Danny, and apparently possibly was started in Australia. And
Yep.
it's not disc throwing. Oh.
Okay, I got it, Buttercup. Dwarf throwing. That was outlawed. Dwarf throwing. Involves a lot of alcohol.
Dog fighting? No, the dog fighting didn't start in Australia. I mean in the ground, but I can't wait that long. Oh, you mean in Blinky can't wait.
Buttercup says yes. It is dwarf throwing.
Oh my god, you're kidding.
Dun, 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 dun.
How embarrassing to be called associated with Australians and they did that. Oh my god.
First question I've got in 10 weeks. I'll accept my gold medal. I want you to play the Australian national anthem.
Scottish
Australians, let us rejoice, for we are young and free.
Blinky, can you? No, if you can't hear me, you won't hear Seeds.
Can anyone hear me? Oh, actually, Buttercup must have
Yes,
heard me, because,
yeah. Blinky, did you read the answer?
But if the swarf involved once thrown, he can be. Yes.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing to be associated with Australia.
Yeah. Oh, if you're pissed, it doesn't matter, Blinky. Let it all hang up, Lassie. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low.
I wonder if Trish came back and has read the answer. That was a good one, Buttercup.
It's a tough one.
What made you think of it?
It was outlawed in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
It's only now legal in Australia to throw people who vote for the Greens. Actually, I always found the funniest one comes from the UK, and that's the rolling of the cheese down that bloody impossible hill where people break legs. Seriously, every year they have the running of the cheese. You've got to take this big round of cheese and run it down the hill, and if you get down to a certain spot, you win. Then the ambulances are called for all the broken bones. We have a strange race in Australia. Blinky knows about this one. It's in the middle of Australia on the river called the Todd, which is always dry. There is no water. It's called the Henley-on-Todd. And people make boats and they punch holes through the bottom and they run. That's actually a vent.
Well, it's amazing. Sometimes you don't know what's in your own country because I've got to say, I don't know if you all have heard of Tony Robbins. We love watching Tony Robbins. That yeah, well, but he also does historical and archaeology stuff. And he came to Australia. He was doing Trains of the World or something.
Yeah.
And Outback Australia, which I didn't even know this existed. Every year there is a big get-together of...
Is it the one in Burke?
No, of using campfire ovens. That
Oh
one
yeah, yeah. Cooking competition. in the middle
Cooking
of nowhere.
competition with the campfire ovens in Australia. It's a yearly event and hundreds of people from all around go to it. Okay. It is.
Okay, look.
It's not even windy. It's alright. Sue's taken the light away because we just heard something at the gate. So he's gone to be a man and investigate. Maybe it was just a cat.
I think it could have been at the bottom of the snowman.
A snowman.
We are safe.
Yeah, Blinky's laughing at the Henley Untied. Have you not heard of it, Blinky?
We used to have one in my hometown, and it's done all over Australia. It's the beer can regatta. But that happens all around Australia. I did my first one in Darwin. No, everyone's entitled to their opinion, Buttercup. It's not that I care. People can do what they like. I just don't approve of it. I'm entitled to that opinion. And I'll always say, people in need never ask for it. Figure that one out.
If anyone's got a conscience and doesn't want to rip people off, innocent people, well...
The one thing I don't get is when some people use the words, I'm raising money to help other poor people. So it's like being a weird Robin Hood. It's like I take money from the poor and then I give money to the poor. Well, that's not really generosity, is it? Generosity comes from within each person.
Yeah, nervous.
You don't ask other people to give you some money to be generous to somebody else.
Yeah, a nervous
That's
touch.
hypocrisy.
So
There's no generosity involved in that at all.
So
It's called manipulation.
So obviously people are talking, do watch these videos, who reckon they don't watch his videos and chats and is talking about him. Well,
I'm happy to agree to disagree. I have no problem with
good
that.
on you. So hello everybody.
But I'm entitled to my view and opinion. I don't go to other channels that ask for money because I don't approve of it, so I don't go there and bash them or complain or wave the civil rights flag.
Just on your own. Oh yeah, the wildlife, I agree, Blinky.
Oh, there's plenty. Look, Blinky, you and I know we could pick up the phone any time we like and donate money to 1,000 causes to do with wildlife in Australia. We've got a lovely couple that took a dog recently and it had a cleft palate. It was, what was the name? They were bull terriers? It was a bull terrier.
Staffy.
Oh, it's Staffy. And they're born with a cleft palate.
Yeah, it's bad.
And there's actually an association that saves these dogs. They need special feeding and an apparatus, and then they have to have an operation where they have a sort of a prosthesis put in and stitched up, and they actually live a normal long life. So there are thousands of things like that.
Trish, did you read the question and then find out the answer that Buttercup said? Yeah. Because it might not be there for Trish to read anymore.
Strangely enough, Trish, I got it right. The answer was, what's a sport that was banned in New York, but it's not really a sport? And the answer was e-beggar throwing.
Because it was... Well, you stop it! Because it was affected civil rights.
Yes.
Oh, you haven't heard the answer, Trish. But did you hear the question?
The answer was dwarf throwing.
And yes, it did start in Australia, and it is banned in Australia. Yeah, well, it was dwarf throwing.
Yep.
Yeah, that Bondi vet, he's good. There's a lot of people raising money, even here in our town, Blinky. No, they banned it years ago, Trish. Everything's banned here, Blinky.
Yep.
And it's things like what people don't realise, these wildlife that they're helping, the money helps, but they also want things like blankets, and if people donate formula because of if there's babies.
Actually, I've got to ask Blinky a question. It's only in New South Wales and Victoria, Blinky. You drive along all the freeways and the highways, and there's a sign every kilometre that says, injured wildlife, call 1800 95 662. Now, I've got to ask the question. I've never seen a wombat with a mobile phone. How are they supposed to call? Wildlife call? Really? road between Perth and Geraldton, which is about 500 kilometres, on any given day, and I'm not exaggerating by any means, it's 500 kilometres and there'll be at least 2,000 dead animals on the road every day. And why do I know that? There's a guy that comes half the way from Geraldton and a guy that goes to Perth halfway to Geraldton. And what they do is they pick up dead animals in a 3-tonne truck. They get paid for carcasses. They're generally taken to a dog factory to make dog food. And I kid you not, because you can't leave all these carcasses on the road. Cars get damaged. Most car accidents are not hitting a live kangaroo, it's somebody that doesn't see the carcass of a dead one and it flips their car, because roos are big. Buttercup says, is it okay to call you next week sometime? We'll message WhatsApp first.
Yes.
Usually with a lot of trucks going the road, Trish, and I can tell you, I've driven trucks, you can't stop. You're driving at about 65 mile an hour. Kangaroos don't give you a warning. And when one comes out of the bush, normally there's 4 or 5, 6, maybe 10, and the truck just cleans every one of them up. And another 20 mile down the road, he'll hit another 4 or 5. That's one truck. There's probably 1,000 trucks that go up and down the highway every day. There's nothing we can do about it. People said fences. Kangaroos can jump over a 15-foot fence if they wanted to. They have an enormous leap on them. Asian tourists, yeah, my God. 2 of them got killed here 2 weeks ago, Blinky, driving on the right-hand side of the road. Luckily, they hit a truck, and there wasn't another passenger vehicle they hit. Just insane. I wouldn't give any Asian tourists, look, even those that are Australian, they're not that good. They tend to just use their cars as a bumper. Boom, boom. Yep, roos can jump up to 15 feet. So you can't build a roo fence. And in fact, most of the places between here and where that town is, it's all farms. So farmers need to cross their herds across the road from time to time, which is done by blocking the road for 20 minutes. But yeah, for thousands of animals every night. We have, and they do a census on the kangaroo in particular, and the camel, goats and wild pigs. There's census done every year in my state. But in Australia, any given time, there's about 65 million kangaroos at any given time. So if you're losing a couple of thousand a day on the highway here and maybe 10,000 a day Australia-wide, it's not a big loss out of the huge numbers. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is about Asian drivers, and it may sound racist, but they're bloody hopeless. I've only known of one person in my life that died. It was a big red kangaroo that jumped at just the right time, and it was a flat screen Bedford truck straight through and killed the driver. 100 kilo of kangaroo moving at 60 mile an hour. He died, but I'm sure many other people died by flipping their cars. I would never veer for a kangaroo. You're better off hitting a kangaroo than flipping your car on the side of the road. I've done the same. I've saved dozens of joeys in my time, Blinky. There's a lady that lives around the corner from me that specialised in saving them. And a few times I'd bring them in and she said, no, it's too far gone, got injured with the mother, and she would put it to sleep. But most of the time she could save them. She had about a dozen roos all the time, from that big up to half grown, but then she'd take them out bush with her husband and they used to release them. And funny enough, she was saying that she released so many in the same area that when she used to go there after about a decade, she'd go there and they'd back the car up and about to release. Half a dozen kangaroos would come up to the car and she'd recognise them. In other words, they didn't forget her. But they'd survived in the bush. Yeah, you've got to use that because that works out really good, cutting their teeth off. I know one bloke used to cut the sack off around, the hump that the joey goes, used to cut that off with the teeth and take it with them. But joeys are remarkably resilient, but you've got to get food into them. They dehydrate real quick. Oh, most Australians are pretty good. Look, if we see an injured bird, we get it and we'll keep it and not put it in a cage, but make a little bedding for it, like if it's got a broken wing. A bird can heal within probably 6 to 7 days as far as being mobile, but can't fly for about a month. And some vets will actually repair wild injured birds. If you just take in and go, yeah, we'll do it. Cut, why won't you let go? No, it's something that the joey's accustomed to, buttercup. So if you take the teat and feed it through a bottle with the old teat, even just to start it off, it will eat. Sometimes joeys, what they call turn off, they won't eat. They won't drink. Yeah, they do. They get that wheeze going. I tell you what, I can't imagine in the UK hedgehogs lasting much longer, buttercup. Even when I was a kid, driving around in 1960 vehicles, there were dead hedgehogs everywhere. It's like they're stupid. I would just about guarantee, without even looking it up, hedgehogs would be on the endangered list, particularly in the UK. Sad. Funny little buggers. I remember one day when I was pretty young, and I saw this little cute thing coming out from behind a box. I picked it up, and then it sunk his teeth into me. It was a mole. I don't like moles. Couldn't shake the damn thing off my finger until it decided to let go. Just sound like you're walking on a ship. Okay. Okay, we've got to go. Okay, we've got a problem in our family, so we're going to go and sort it out. All right, everyone, have a good day and a good night, and we will catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.